Hello everyone. I'm going to be talking about cancel culture today. It's quite different from what I've done, but yeah, I've realized that 2 weeks ago I was probably not going to make this video. Oh no, a week ago. A week ago I wasn't planning on making this video. I was planning to do this even before everything was happening on YouTube, across social media. And I figured that I could make a video about this and give the perspective that I have on this. So, without further ado, I made some notes, so I'm kind of prepared for this, so I don't mess up what I'm saying. Okay, so first thing I'm going to talk about is the whole situation that happened on June 30th with Tati's video that got uploaded. And with that video, she described the whole situation that happened last year. I'm just gonna give a quick summarization of what happened, just as a little preface before I go into cancel culture. So, in that video, she stated that last year in May 2019, when she made the Bye Sister video, talking about exposing James Charles. And now the video that she uploaded, as I'm recording this, the video that she uploaded last week, basically was talking about how she was manipulated and kind of coerced into making that Bye Sister video. And then she mentions Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. Now, that in of itself has just sparked a wave of after effects, with Shane then posting his accountability video that Friday, or that Thursday, and then Jenna's video, which I'll get into Jenna's video later. Okay, so though there were some inconsistencies that I pointed out, but then a lot of other people pointed out the same thing as well. So the main thing that a lot of people have been pointing out, and something that I also pointed out as well, something that a lot of people pointed out, which then I also noticed, is that in Tati's video, she mentioned that after the continuous lies being told to her by Shane and Jeffree, that she felt like she was made or forced to make that video that she uploaded last year. Which I agree with a lot of people saying that it was her own doing. She wasn't made or forced to make a video. She knew what she was doing with that video. I don't know. The situation is so messy. And I'm gonna say that word a lot. Yeah. So then that happened. And then with Shane's video, his accountability statement or apology, there were a lot of problems with that. And I'm kind of conflicted because I've watched Shane for a long time. And I'm not saying that I'm on his side with his statement, because his statement is just so not on par with what is acceptable. Well, first point in Shane's video that a lot of people noticed, and then I also noticed as well, is that he felt he was inspired by Jenna's video to make his statement. So then so that says to me, the audience, or the viewer, that his video wasn't really planning to come about, but now it's just a big issue because he's now noticing the state of the internet right now. Yeah. And it was such a ridiculous video to watch. I don't know. I couldn't even finish his video. It's just so disappointing. And then also, he went on Instagram Live and then got really, really upset and angry. Like, it's so, I don't know, he just made it like, wasn't even thinking about it. I'm sure now, hopefully, he regrets what he said, especially with Tati. That just, I don't know. I'm not gonna say what he said in this video, because it's just kind of like way too deep, way too dark. It's really, I don't know how to feel about it. Okay, and now with Jenna's video. At least a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago. I forget what the timeline of it was. Oh wait, yeah, almost 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So, to summarize her video, she apologized and talked about some decisions that she made in the past which were not very well thought out, to put it slightly. And so she talked about the decisions that she made, decided that it wasn't great to have that content on the internet and have it offend somebody, and she said that she might be quitting or might have a break from YouTube. Her video has been getting a lot of praise because she realized that something needed to be said. And one point that I wrote down, which I'm gonna read. So one moment. So with Jenna's video, she was getting a lot of praise for it because her video wasn't provoked. Like, people weren't exposing her first and then felt like she needed to make a video in response. So here's what I wrote down. It shows genuinity or authenticity if a person is not provoked in making an apology. They honestly felt they did something wrong and would like to take responsibility / accountability for their past or current actions. And that's the thing. A lot of people have been pointing out the differences between Shane's and Jenna's video. With Shane's video, from the viewer's perspective, it didn't really seem like he honestly needed to make a video. Well, he didn't need to make a video unless he was then provoked by other people exposing him for his really disturbing past. It's just so much. It's like so much to think about with his whole past, and some of it I didn't even know that he did all of that, which is like more of a shock to me. But then again, it's not really a shock to me because I've seen other people talk about his past before. Yeah, it's just so messy. It's really messy. Okay, took a short little break, put a hat on because the hair was bothering me. Alright, now with Jenna's video. Now this is what I personally think about it. With Jenna's situation and Shane's situation. I've been watching the both of them for such a long time, but I haven't really been watching I haven't been watching them since the beginning of their YouTube career. There's definitely a lot of growth that I didn't see, but then a lot of people did see. So I just kind of like saw them, not growing up, but maturing. It's so weird. Maturing or growing up, they're grown adults. But then again, adults make a lot of mistakes too. Age has nothing to do with it. Everyone's going to make mistakes. And that's another thing. Going back to Tati's video, a lot of people were saying, you're an almost 40-year-old woman. Why are you making this video publicly criticizing these people? You should just deal with it in private, which is an insult, saying that her age should signify maturity, but here she is making a video for everyone to see about the situation. And that's the other thing with Shane. He's an almost 32-year-old man going on Instagram Live and then just totally shouting at the TV screen about Tati and just screaming that she's lying. Not screaming, but being angrily frustrated. His age also comes up, which, I don't know. I'm 20 now. I'm still gonna I have a lot of mistakes that are eventually going to happen, and I'm not going to know what's right or wrong. Anyway, now let's talk about cancel culture as a whole. What's the definition? What does it mean? Cancel culture, according to dictionary.com, refers to the popular practice of withdrawing support for public figures and companies after they have done or said something objectionable. Said something considered objectionable or offensive. Cancel culture is generally discussed as being performed on social media in the form of group shaming. Now, with cancel culture, I don't have a lot of experience with it. I just know for a fact how I've been personally influenced by public opinion, especially with last year with the James Charles and Tati situation. I remember watching Tati's video and just being like, wow, that is crazy. Like, he's doing all this stuff. Good for her that she's doing that and that she's saying something about it. And then people just like went overboard with canceling James. Like, even like the opinion I had was just totally swept in with everybody else's. I felt in that moment, why should anybody support him? He's doing all this disgusting predatory stuff, was being not a good friend, lying. And now, looking back on it, it seems like he wasn't the villain in the situation at all. And now I've learned from that situation to not totally bandwagon onto everyone's public opinion. And now with this situation, with the one happening in 2020, I have taken like a wider perspective. I'm not trying to cancel anybody, especially I don't feel that way. Shane has said something, James hasn't said anything, Tati has said something, and Jeffree has stayed totally silent. As I'm making this, he has not said anything, been totally silent on social media and all platforms. Once all perspectives are shown, then as a public, we can decide who is wrong and who is right. Because we only have one side of the story. Jeffree might have a totally different side of the story, or if he'll choose to comment on it or not. We don't know. With also preparing for this video about cancel culture, I decided to watch different videos about this specific topic. And I'm kind of glad I did, because it gave me a new perspective on what other people had to say about this, rather than just relying on what I think. I'll definitely link the videos in the description so that the viewer or anybody who's watching can see where I got this information. So first and foremost, I watched Felix's video about Jubilee's video about cancel culture. Is it good or is it bad? And he gathered some people that were pro cancel culture and then people that were anti cancel culture. So, and this is one comment underneath the video. The problem is, canceling someone now has become an excuse for bullying someone online you don't like. Which I find is so true, because it's getting really negative and it's just become so extreme. Like, it's not just about canceling someone for this act, it's now also giving people an excuse to go back in time and find every single thing that they did that was not socially acceptable by everybody. That's one of the terrible things about it. Another thing I'll mention. This was another person in the video that said this. What cancel culture does is saying that I am not going to support an artist's work because I don't like it and nobody else should either. And that's what I hate about it. That's like a perfect, that is a perfect short summary of what cancel culture is. One person has their preconceived notion about a person and their wrongdoings, and then they believe, or they think that everybody else should have the same opinion as them. It's just kind of backwards. And that's just what I personally think. And then there was another video that I watched. It was by this YouTuber named Tony Talks. I watched this video a couple hours ago. And so here's something that I found that was pretty interesting. What she said. It doesn't matter if you didn't mean to offend somebody. If a group of people feel offense by these actions, you need to apologize for it. Of course, I'm just paraphrasing. I didn't say everything that she said word for word. And that's the thing. Most likely with Shane and Jenna in their videos with blackface, where they said racial slurs or they did something that was offensive to a group of people, their intention wasn't to make people feel bad, but that doesn't matter. If people feel offense by it or there's something wrong with it, then an apology needs to be made. Well, a little background on me. I am Asian American. I have a father who's from America and then a mother who's from Hong Kong. So I guess I'm biracial, I guess. And then another thing, with certain groups of people, one person who was not offended by an artist's work or their actions. Let me say this one more time. If the person who was directed with the apology, or that group of people, they're the ones that can decide whether or not they can accept the apology. If me, an Asian American, I can't say, I accept this apology. They seemed like they were being truthful with an apology that was directed towards the black community or Asian community, or black community, or let's just say the black community, just for example. I cannot accept that because I may seem that the person delivering the apology was truthful. I can't say I accept that apology because I'm not black. So that's definitely something that I've learned from preparing for this video. That's definitely something that I'll keep in the back of the head. Okay. Now, next thing. Now, here's a problem with cancel culture. This is something that I wrote. It clouds people's judgment, telling us to hear this one perspective first, then not anything else. Bandwagon onto the hate and negativity. And that's another... I'm just remembering something that Tati said in her most recent video. She said when this all comes out, when all this information comes out, we need to be prepared to forgive them, or to forgive Jeffree or Shane, because Jeffree has a lot of dirt on a lot of people, and she said to not be afraid, or to be prepared when he unleashes all this information on everybody. So, I get what she was saying. She's basically saying if we just need to hear him out and then not cancel anybody. Because if we're just... the first reaction we have is hate and anger and negativity, then there's no progression at all. We're not really doing anything. We're just sticking to our old ways. And definitely with cancel culture, there's a lot of people that are for it and say we should cancel someone to set the precedent for other people, to tell other people this is not okay. We do not accept this. And that was a point in the Jubilee video that I noticed. Some people need to be examples of to set the precedent for what is acceptable for the future generation. And I do agree with that statement. But I don't think we need to just cancel someone, leave them so much hate and negativity that they feel like they're no good and that then it's affecting that person's mental health. And especially with James, he said that he was with the whole situation that happened last year, because people were just so cruel to him. And these famous / well-known people, they're people too. And I am I'm guilty of this as well. I hold people to a higher standard. I guess I personally hold people that are famous / well known to a higher standard. Like they will just, I guess that can go with a lot of people as well. They hold people that are famous to a higher standard than normal people or people that don't have a platform. Yeah. And with Shane being canceled, or he is, do I think he should be canceled? No, I don't think he should. Here's what I think. I personally think that we, or his friends, or his audience, can show him or provide encouragement in saying, hey, we know that you did this, and we would like you to, or I guess that has to come from him. He has to feel like he genuinely needs to make up for his actions and take responsibility. But that doesn't mean to just give him a little bit of encouragement. Or let me say this. I will say, if a person makes an action or does something that is totally offensive, and people come for them and say to them, please learn from this, we do not approve of your actions, and then they continue to not learn from it and continue to make the same mistakes and not see any wrongdoing with their action, then that's when we need to stop supporting them and stop encouraging them to do this action that they are getting a lot of praise for. That doesn't make any sense to me. If someone genuinely would like to make up for their actions, then I don't think that they should be canceled for it. At least, again, that's what I personally think. That's okay. And if everyone has their own opinion, that's okay. Hi. I'm currently editing the cancel culture video, but there were a couple notes in the planner / notebook that I had, and it was the main point, and I forgot to say it in the video, which is weird. Anyway, I need to read it to you, because it's important. The main point. The toxicity of cancel culture is the very thing that is tearing apart our culture / community. And then also, okay, with that point, I don't know, someone probably said that. I don't know, I thought of that. I didn't copy from anybody. At least not to the knowledge I have. Anyway, and another thing that Jenna said in her video, which was really eye-opening to me. She said something along the lines of, 2020 is a year of getting rid of everything and anything that is toxic. And that's so true, I guess. I mean, from a wider perspective, and not just looking at cancel culture and the internet, but like the state of the world right now. Like we have the coronavirus that's still very apparent going on right now, and then also the racial injustices against Black people and Black Lives Matter, and then also cancel culture, people bringing up their past and taking accountability and action for it. And it's so ironic how 2020 was like the year, like the pinnacle year that everything good was going to happen, and it has been proven to show anything but that. So, I mean, it's always good to look at the positives of everything. There's still some positives that have reached out of these situations, but that's not a whole lot of what people are focusing on. So hopefully 2021 will leave anything toxic in 2020, then maybe 2021 will be a better year. But yeah. And then also another thing about cancel culture, how with social media is like a major factor in how easy it is to cancel people. I'm sure a lot of people have made that connection. It's just so easy to say, you're canceled, XXX YouTuber, XXX celebrity. We're no longer supporting you through your device or computer. It's very easy to do that. And like newer apps like TikTok, Instagram, kind of, just kind of like is with that motion. So, and just like a whole bunch of other things. That's okay. I need to get back to editing this video, but I thought those are some important points that I should point in. Okay, yeah. And here is an example of cancel culture, I guess, that is pretty recent that I found. I took several screenshots of it. So, here's when cancel culture is very toxic. I'm sure many of you know who Ariana Grande is. And she I don't know recently, but she has a boyfriend. And here's the thing. She did not tell us if she was going to be in a relationship compared to her last one, which was messy, or with this statement that people have been basically this was a post on Instagram that I saw, and I guess I can link this one as well if you're interested in seeing the thread of comments. But there are a bunch of people who decided to go back into Ariana's his name is Dalton. Oh wait, go back to the first point. Ariana did not tell us that she had a boyfriend, that she was in a relationship. That is all that is all us, the public, trying to dig deep to find out who it was. And she knows. If she told anybody about this, then it would just totally go down south. So anyway, there are a bunch of comments that Dalton made on his Instagram many years ago. He made a joke about the LGBT community, and then also joked about Asperger's syndrome, which definitely is not okay. Not okay to joke about. Of course not. And here's what some people had to say about that. Here's what one comment said. Some of you are some stalkers. How in the world did you go and find 4-year-old comments? I'll try to leave it up right here. Why does the internet go above and beyond to find something to cancel someone on? And it's always one of your idols, friends / boyfriends. Ariana should have kept him private because this is unnecessary. And another thing. Another comment reads, it's funny how many of Ariana's fans try to make it seem like his actions were not bad. They wasn't bad. His actions wasn't bad. Probably incorrect English. Anyway. Yes, it was probably a while ago, but still, he was an adult and should have known how to act right. Many call this dark humor, and it's okay, because Ari has dark humor too? Like what? But when Pete had dark humor, y'all canceled him to the point where he had to delete his social medias. Y'all treated him way differently for his dark humor, and for Dalton, it is okay to say stuff like this without even questioning him. And then this part right here. This part. Literally everyone has said bad stuff in their past. Y'all gotta quit acting like you've never said offensive stuff. I'm sure you've never had to publicly apologize for every mistake you've ever made. That part. Even this comment is great too. I feel low-key uncomfortable that it's being dug up from his account. From my understanding, it's private. The truth will come to light in the future. I'm gonna let it happen. See, that's to the point where it's getting toxic because people are just trying to ruin other people's lives. And that's just not okay. And it just really shows to the haters or people that are just dead set on finding negative stuff. They care way too much about this person to be caring about their own selves. Just worry about you. Don't try to be concerned with what other people are doing. Yeah, definitely everyone has said messed up things in their past. I know definitely I have. I'm 20 years old. Oh, that's so weird. 20. Ugh. I'm still not quite over there yet. I've definitely done some stuff in middle school and probably early high school that I'm not proud of. But will it come to surface, or should I just like talk about it now? Right now it's about cancel culture. It's not about me. Anyway, it's just kind of like messed up what lengths people will go to cancel something. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay. All right. And now conclusion. What is something all of us can learn from cancel culture? I think something all of us, or everybody can learn from this, is to be open to every perspective. Be open to every perspective. Don't try to immediately grasp on to one idea that another person has set, because they're probably already set with their mind, with their idea. But you yourself as an individual can decide whether or not I'm going to agree with this, or I'm going to disagree with it. Or I'm just going to stay neutral and not care about it, which is probably the best decision. Something that I personally think that cancel culture can evolve into, I guess it shouldn't really be evolved into anything. It should just be cancel culture should be canceled. I said this earlier in the video, but whenever someone makes a mistake or they say something offensive or they do something extremely not right, I don't know what the right word is at the moment. But then definitely a lot of comments and especially in the Jubilee video, it seriously depends on the crimes that they did, or it seriously depends on what they did. And I have to agree with that. Like, hold on. Yeah, it seriously depends on the crimes they did. You, as an individual person, probably would not cancel someone if they said they hated the sport of tennis. Unless you're a hardcore tennis player, and you would then be offended by that statement. But then you would probably, I can't speak for everybody, you'd probably be offended if someone said something extremely demoralizing or provocative towards minors. That's something that is against the law and you can go to jail for. However, like, that just like sticks with them. Offender or someone was that's definitely going to follow them around for the rest of their life. It's a whole nother topic that I should probably not dive deep into with this video. Anyway, what I was saying before is it depends on the crime. It depends on the crimes that they did, and we as society or collective group of people can make a statement towards a person's wrong actions and say, we do not agree with what you did, and we demand that you try to take accountability and be responsible so that you can learn from it. Because we're trying to cheer you on. We would like to see the best for you. And if they are then able to realize what their actions did to another group of people or just individuals, and they realize, I am sorry. I'm so sorry for offending these group of people, for offending anybody. That was not right, and I will learn from this and will become a better person. If their actions then show that they learned, then they don't have a problem with me. But then anybody can say, I'm sorry, I messed up, I'd like to try again. But then their actions continue to show their same old self or their same mistakes. Actions speak louder than words. So, that was all I needed to say about that. So, if you got this far, thank you for hearing me out, hearing a new perspective. I personally think all perspectives are valid. Anybody can say what they'd like to say. I don't know. You can say whatever you like to say, but that doesn't mean that consequences aren't always going to be there. Yeah, so thank you for hearing me out, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video then.